So now we're at the point where we're explaining to the business owner how we can protect their business. So John, you mentioned in the flip chart here that you spent X number of dollars consulting with attorneys. How valuable would it be to have access to those same legal services without having to worry about the cost per hour? In fact, that attorney that you spoke with, John, how much is their hourly rate approximately? Oh, it's $300 an hour. Would you understand that for $300 an hour, you can own the business owner legal solution plan for 4 months? 1 hour with your attorney or 4 months with the business owner legal solution plan, having toll-free access to your provider law firm for any issue that you can think of regarding your business. And one of the things that I do in my presentation is I take a moment during the presentation, I explain the concept of the provider law firm network. Don't miss this because people don't automatically understand the concept. You start talking about this membership and what it does. It's worth taking a moment to say, here's what we've done. Over the last 40 years, we have put together a national network of provider law firms. So in our state, John, in the state of Florida, we have a provider law firm in a closed panel system that we pay a tremendous amount of money to provide legal services to our members. And by owning the membership, you have access to a top-rated law firm that has attorneys that do nothing more all day long than answer your questions when you call. They have to understand the concept because it's foreign to them. Again, if you have a business owner that does a lot of this every year, they may say, really? And I can call them whenever I want? Because I have 10 things I need to talk with an attorney about right now. How quickly can I get this started, right? You don't have to go through the rest of the flip chart. Just go ahead and enroll the member. But if it doesn't happen that way, keep going. So John, these are what we call our preventive legal services. So giving you consultation to our provider law firm for issues regarding your business. And then if the attorney feels that a letter written on your behalf would benefit you, they'll write 1 letter per legal subject matter per year. Now, Melissa touched on that too, and here's how I explain how this works. Because this was a real example. I say, John, let's just say you've got a contract with a company that picks up your garbage in the dumpster out back. And when they come to pick up the garbage, they keep putting the dumpster down in the wrong place. They pick it up, and then when they put it down, they move it over here. And you've called and talked with them, and you can't seem to get that resolved. Wouldn't it be great to have your provider law firm write them a letter on your behalf and resolve that? And he says, yeah, that'd be great. Now, let's say the next time they pick up the garbage, they put the dumpster down and they're scratching one of your work vehicles when they put it down. The attorney can write that waste removal company another letter because it's the same company, but it's a different issue. Right? And this is a true story, one of the business owners. Now this dumpster that they're using, they've used it so long, the bottom of it's starting to rot out, and now all the garbage is falling into the parking lot and they won't replace the dumpster. 3rd letter, same company, 3 letters, different subject matters. And the business owner then understands that because this sounds limited to them. Like Melissa said, when they first hear it, it can sound, only one? Why only one? 1 per legal subject matter. How valuable would this be, John, to have access to this legal correspondence? Again, you're looking for buying signals because if they say, wow, I could use that right away, go ahead and enroll the member. Now, John, here's a really valuable part of our membership where you can have contracts and documents reviewed. Now, understand, for purpose of presentation, Melissa's already gone through how this works, so I don't want to reteach how the product works. I think the point that's important to remember when you're going through the flip chart is it's not just what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. Because if you get to this part of the flip chart and you say, Legal Shield Contract and Document Review Services. Basic contract review, 3 basic contracts up to 15 pages each reviewed by your provider lawyer each month. Isn't that great, John? That's not the goal. The goal is not just to read them what it is. Okay, you've got to make the words come alive, and like Melissa said, you've got to know it. You don't have to the great part is if you're brand new, you can look at it and you can sound like you've been doing it for years, because you can just say, John, you've got basic contract review that's going to give you 3 basic contracts reviewed up to 15 pages each every month by your provider law firm. It's how you're saying it, because you're trying to help the business owner understand this is different, this is unique, this is not something that they've ever had before. Contract review by an attorney, and you don't have to pay. John, how much would you pay your attorney to review a basic contract up to 15 pages each? Well, I'd probably about $200. This is 3 a month, John. What's 3 times 200? $600 a month in value just in this one. John, I have business owners that have purchased this solution just for this one benefit, and I haven't even showed you the other 18 things that this does. Right? It's got to sink in. Nick, is this true? It's got to sink into them, because they don't even believe it's true. They don't believe it's true. Where am I on time?
4 minutes.
Perfect. Execute a contract review. We have a business owner that signed a contract for uniform. 1 page, simple contract. Didn't have it reviewed when they signed it. Didn't have it reviewed when they canceled it. Cost them $10,000 because of the fine print at the bottom of the 1-page contract. John, you've got a whole file drawer full of contracts that you've already obligated your company to, and every month you can pull out one and have your office manager, or you can do it yourself, send it to your provider attorney, and they'll review that agreement for you, and they'll tell you where the gotchas are, make sure that you're protected before maybe you terminate one early. Isn't that a great benefit? And then you go into the document. Document review is a simple, John. It could be something from your bank, something from the insurance company, something from the IRS, something from a regulatory agency. It may be an internal document that you're going to circulate with your employees or your customers, and you want to have it reviewed. You can have it reviewed as a part of your plan. And then, John, to the break glass in case of emergency part, we talked about lawsuits and how devastating they can be for businesses. You've got up to 75 hours. You have 75 hours every year, John. 15 hours of pretrial time, 60 hours of actual trial time in the event that your business is sued. Okay, again, remember what you're doing. You're going through the flip chart trying to touch on their hot points. If they didn't have some of these as hot points, you just keep going. If you don't feel like the designated consultation portion has anything to do with their business based on your knowledge of their business, you don't have to read all this. You don't have to read debt collection service if they told you that that's not an issue for them. Some business owners will tell you, everybody shows up and they just have to pay, and if they don't pay, they don't get what they wanted. I don't have a debt collection issue. So you don't have to touch on this. I had a business owner that I got to the debt collection part, and I explained 10 debt collection letters a month, and he stopped me. He said, stop. How many? I said 10. He said, 10 a month? I said, yes. He said, stop talking. Okay. He said, I'm in, what do I do? We were sitting in his office. And would you rather have the membership process today or 5 days from now? Right? So I said, you have your computer? He said, yeah. I said, let's get you set up. We went right to my hub site and we enrolled the business owner. Okay? It can happen that easily. And then you've got reduced fee services, contingency services. Again, we're talking about presenting to the business owner. You've got to be able to determine how much time you have with them, what their interest level is, what they told you they needed in the needs analysis. Now, to the Go Small Biz team, as I wrap up this part of my presentation, I want you to understand this. I oftentimes don't even get to the Go Small Biz benefit. And the business owner has already made a decision to purchase this based on the legal benefit. How many of you believe that if we did not have the Go Small Biz part of the membership and just had the legal portion, that it's worth $75 a month? Okay? How many of you believe that if we didn't have the legal plan, but we had just the Go Small Biz access, that that's worth $75 a month? Right? So when you're going through the presentation, you go through as much as you need to get them to agree that it's worth $75 a month, and then you enroll the business owner. Okay? The Go Small Biz portion of the membership, this is your part as we close. This is the most important part of what you're going to talk about with this business owner in that presentation, is having access to consultation services with no limit. They can't wrap their brain around this. They've never had access. A business owner that is not paying $300 an hour for legal services that they need is also not paying $300 an hour for consultants. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue our role play exercises. And Nick, are you going to come up before we do that? Okay, so Nick's going to come up, and in just a moment we're going to go back into role play. We're going to go through the rest of the flip chart as we go through together and do our role playing, and we're going to talk about how to take the business owner from this chart, which is what they had when you walked in, to this, which is what they're going to have when you walk out, providing value they did not have, protecting and growing their business, and then tomorrow I'm going to show you how to follow up with this business owner to make sure that they're using it and keeping it and retaining it for years to come. Thank you so much for your time.